Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App. Hit that Cash App, man. Show the boys some love, man. Show me some love. Who else giving you this energy and passion? Come holler at your boy. There go to PayPal. Y'all already know that super chat work, man. I appreciate everybody who be giving me their hard-earned money because you can spend your money doing whatever, wherever, however. But y'all choose to support me, and I just want y'all to know I don't never unappreciate that or undervalue it. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. I told y'all again, y'all know when I make a video like this saying I told you, you already know. Y'all haven't proven me wrong about nothing on this YouTube yet. I just got to point that part out. Yeah, I'm going to pat myself on the back. Anybody heard from Brian Norman Sr.? I'm putting an APB out on Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. Has anybody heard from these Earthmen? Y'all was acting like y'all was such big fan of these guys. Y'all was deriding these guys, arguing for them, having whole panels. I haven't heard for nothing about them in months now. Now, have you? Don't answer that question. We already know the answer to that question, don't we? Ryan Norman Jr. got hurt, and he not even fighting on the undercard of Keyshawn Davis now. And guess what? Y'all don't even care. Just like I told y'all wouldn't care. Do y'all understand that it was for clout now? What else could it have been? Because if it wasn't, why ain't nobody talking about him? Name me the YouTube channel that's talking about Brian Norman Jr. and what they want to see from him and what's going on with the young man like they do Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Arthur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, David Benavidez, David Morrell. Just name them. Just name them. Ain't nobody talking about these Earthmen. And like I told y'all, they wouldn't talk about these Earthmen. But they squandered their biggest opportunity, which in turn made the IBF and them go ahead and mandate a fight between jaronennis. Jaronennis going to still get his money. Philly's still going to be packed out. We going to be asking who Boots fighting next. That's a fact. Y'all don't even care. Y'all don't even... Brian Norman Jr. hasn't even went through your mind in the last 2.5, 3 months. Now, has he? I wonder why that is. Where is the Brian Norman Sr. interview, y'all, since this whole Boost situation got stopped? See, the problem I got with these Earthmen is that they want to pick and choose when they want to talk. If you're going to talk big dog stuff, you got to talk it all the time, my guy. You can't hide out and disappear when nobody cares like I told y'all would happen. But y'all was running with it. Dame, he should have offered him more. Why shouldn't he? Nobody cares about Brian Norman Jr. or Sr. like I told y'all they didn't. Ain't nobody asking for interviews now. Ain't nobody holding panels about Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. now. That's all I know. Ain't nobody talking about that. Gervonta Davis get talked about all year. Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney been talked about all year, and even though Bill get more shine than Devin. That's Devin's fault, though. Canelo Alvarez get talked about all year. We know who David Benavidez. David Benavidez has moved up to 175, him and David Morrell, and we still talk about Canelo fighting David Benavidez. Yeah. Do you know why? That means people care about that fighter. Yeah. Yeah, that's why. You don't even know who Brian Norman going to fight next since he got injured. You don't know. You don't care. You wasn't. Get in my comment section and say that I'm lying. Say that you was thinking about Brian Norman Sr. a day ago. They disappeared into the wind just like Dean told y'all they would disappear into the wind. That's why I say it with me, y'all. If you follow my channel, you know what I'm about to say. I let people talk that like to talk because you get to see how full of ish they are. Jackie Chan told you that already. That was a life lesson. You laughed about it. That was a life lesson. Now Brian Norman Jr. went into the Wilms, didn't get his biggest payday, and y'all say, well, Dean, he got injured. Guess what would have happened if he would have got injured fighting Jaronennis, though? Training for Jaronennis. We still would have been talking about the fight, though. Right? After this injury, what's going to happen? We want to see Brian Norman and who? Jaron. Stop me when I'm lying. It would have been interviews about his injury. Now, wouldn't it? It would have been panels and interviews about him getting injured fighting Boots. And what does that mean? And what's the next move for Boots? And what's the next? Yes. That would have happened. Absolutely, that would have happened. It's so funny, man, that these guys be clout chasing and trying to make their children, their fighter, whoever it is, because promoters do it too. It's not even just the fighters. Promoters do it too. Try to make it seem like these guys are bigger than they are and price themselves out, and that people are clamoring so much. Only reason why people cared about Brian Norman Jr. because we wanted to see Boots fight him. It's because we wanted to see Boots, not because we wanted to see Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman, you didn't care. You never heard of Brian Norman Sr. voice until this Boots situation. He wasn't doing interviews about his son. That lets you know it was never genuine. You're supposed to be talking about your son all year round to try to get his name out there. All year round. And then get mad at guys like me that say y'all just trying to attach your name to jaronennis. Boozy Ennis talk all year round. They do interviews with Boozy Ennis about other fighters, not even his son. They are interested in what Boozy has to say about other fighters. Ain't it funny? You got more people care about Jaronennis fighting Karen Kuka Dodges and why they don't like the fight than talking about Brian Norman Jr. and who they would like him to fight. When they should have just made the fight, and that goes to show you karma. Listen, y'all, believe in the universe. Maybe if he would have fight Jaronennis, he would have never got hurt in training camp. Who knows how that would have happened? I believe in the universe. I truly do. Not wishing injury on the man. It happened. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's cool. But at the end of the day, that's what happens. You got to take opportunities while you got them because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You understand? And then guess what? If he would have got injured, that fight would have got postponed and still would have been on. So he still would have got paid. Now we don't know when Brian Norman Jr. is coming back. And even if he do come back, y'all not going to be having panels and discussion about Brian Norman Jr. next fight. No, you're not. Don't even sit up there and lie. After Boots beat Karen Kuka Dodgic, there's going to be panels and discussions and interviews about who Jaronennis is fighting next. Should he go up to 154? What about Bud? Should Mario Barrios and stand up? Yes, it will be. Absolutely, it will be. You know why? Because people actually care about Jaronennis and what he does with his career. If Brian Norman Jr. would have took that opportunity, maybe people would have cared more about you. But y'all keep sitting up here letting your daddy be a bigger star. Y'all are grown men and y'all letting your fathers talk for y'all. I don't need my father to ever talk for me. My father could say whatever you want to say. Rest in peace to him. But y'all can see from Dean personality, I wouldn't need nobody to talk for me. Sorry. But y'all caused this. Y'all was doing panels. Y'all was in comment sections. Y'all was acting like y'all was real fans of Brian Norman Jr. No, you wasn't. Because if you was, you would have still been talking about him and who he fighting next and his injury and all of these other things, but y'all wasn't talking about it. And that's why I sat back in the Wilms, let people talk that like to talk, because you get to see how full of ish they are. Y'all haven't proven me right. Y'all haven't proven me wrong about nothing on this YouTube yet. Because guess what? Even when Dean is wrong, I'm going to make a video and have the same exact passion standing up in front of the congregation, letting you know that I was wrong and why I was wrong. and what I thought that led me to being wrong. But y'all not gonna do that. Earthmanness. That's Earthmanness. I wonder if Brian Norman Sr. still ain't get a haircut yet. I guarantee you Brian Norman Sr. still ain't get a haircut yet. He's still wearing that big black shirt. I guarantee it. When you had an opportunity to push your son into the conversation, to push him ahead of Mario Barrios and Stan Jonas. Yes, you could have. We would have been talking about him more than those two guys. But instead, it is what it is, and nobody cares. Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all. Earthmen.